always begin our episodes after the previously on. I don't know if there's a previously on because I'm watching through Netflix and there's never a previously on.
There is not. It's a cold open.
Great. So it's we're going to just begin our episodes right there at the beginning of that. I'm seeing some construction type people on the screen here, and the subtitle says pounding. So
yeah, my gift will make sense.
All right, everyone. Does anybody have any questions? Mary, are you going to remind me to press record?
Would you like me to remind you of the reminder that it's coming, that I'm going to remind you?
Yes.
And remind you at the end of the episode that if you recorded.
And don't forget the timer on Remarkist.
Thank you. All right. I'm heading over to the Remarkist app right now to begin that timer here in a second. The name of this episode is There's the Rub. It's a Shakespearean line.
And like I said, this episode is the only one that scandalized my mother, and we'll get into that.
All right, love it. All right, everybody, if we're ready, we're gonna all start our episodes on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Already know your meme, Tasha.
The health inspector would never allow this.
No. Yeah, it's very cryptic, but makes a lot of sense.
Health code violations here.
That's the Tom from the Hammers episode.
For the Habitat for Humanity thing.
Yes, he just has a beard now.
That's Biff.
Yes.
See?
I mean, that seems a little dangerous. Valerie, like, did they? I mean, that seemed like kind of close.
Is this Tom's first episode as Tom?
I think so.
Maybe. Sorry, yeah, my thing was muted. Yeah, no, that's where I would have to go in and reset and brush off your shoulders at the beginning of each take.
Was there just somebody up there on like a ladder just dropping the stuff down?
You know that has like rafters. So
yeah,
they would
that's
just
what I mean. But was there somebody
up
up
top.
there that was like letting it go?
Yeah, of course. There'd be a special effects person that only works a few random, like I don't know who, it wasn't someone who works all the time. Because, you know, I'm gonna pause.
Note her shirt says yoga kills.
I was just about to say.
Oh, this one was written by Sheila.
The costume designer on this one is still Robin.
I feel like this is the first sweater vest that I've seen Rory wearing.
She wore it from time to time. I don't know if it was the first time. I feel like she wore it probably first season as well. I don't know.
I don't remember it.
I think she wore the blazer all year. I think the sweater was a development once she joined the Franklin.
I think it was just more like we would switch it up depending on who she was standing with. If she was ever with Shelly, because Shelly always wore a sweater vest, usually, they would just have to switch it so people weren't always wearing the same thing. And Paris and Rory both had the blazers, so they would just kind of switch it whenever they wanted to. And there's Mike Patovich, our transportation coordinator, who is the limo driver, and you will see him in every time Emily
That's so cute.
is being driven in the limo. Even when we're not even being driven, like if the chauffeur goes in the house, he'll do it. So this room right here could transform into different things. I'll tell you guys after.
I've had conversations like this.
We only had 3 blazers total for the girls, so we would have to share them between background people sometimes.
If I got an A- in school, I would celebrate. Are you kidding?
My mom used to say, why couldn't you be more like Paris?
The first time I ever made honor roll was my senior year of high school. So I was just happy to get honor roll.
I was freaking out after getting a B+ on class in college, and one of my friends was like, "She's get degrees. Shut up."
I love that line.
By the way, if my teeth are chattering and I'm talking, it's because I got the shot today and it just kicked in.
Second or first?
Johnson and Johnson.
Oh.
Now I understand the Ted Nugent reference that folks were posting on the picture that I put up.
It might.
Lauren Graham has the innate ability of rocking a low ponytail without looking like a founding father, and I'm here for it.
I can't even rock any type of ponytail without my head looking like a pea. I have a very small head.
I have very limp hair. It's a bad combo.
I love how it's like,
Ew.
Oh, I looked away from the screen and looked back and went,
Ew.
ugh.
Ew.
haven't seen them make out like that before. No.
It was such a posed and staged kiss, you know, with
Awkward.
the camera just panning across towards them.
It's like watching two chickens kissing. Ew. It's not just because it's beef.
To quote Rory when she's talking about Tristan, it looks like he's eating her face.
Alexis hated,
great callback.
Alexis hated her ties. So anytime she got a chance to not wear one, she would not wear one.
I have so much
that
to say just about this scene after. But go ahead, whoever wanted to speak.
He's not mad. I mean, I don't get this whole like, don't be mad, don't be mad. The guy's not mad.
He's pouty though. She's
Very brooding.
anticipating.
Oh,
Very
he's
brooding.
bad. He's as bad as a girl.
He's very brooding.
I think it's because he gets mad easily, like with the book shopping and stuff.
He didn't get mad then. And he's entitled to be broody. He wants to be with his girlfriend. Sure.
I would
Like a
put a chair in front of
landlady.
that door.
John, is your IKEA robe really soft and fabulous?
No, not at all.
They make
That-
robes at IKEA?
No, Babsy was
That's
like,
so
we need to get
disappointing.
some fabric softener on these things.
I've always wanted to buy one. They look so inviting. I feel disenchanted. But then again, I live in Raleigh, so the closest IKEA is in Charlotte, so that's like 3 hours away. Valerie, do you know anything about how they catch that dialogue through the door? Is it actually through the door, or did she have to ADR that?
That would probably be ADR.
It's also a set, so they would probably have a boom on the other side. There's no ceilings.
I love this scene
Fires.
so much.
Also, they've established there is no coffee, so there are no coffee breaks to be had.
I'm just sitting here giggling my head off.
It always confused me how Emily is so like in this world, but she doesn't know how to behave, and she's always talking so much. And I just don't get it.
Yeah, she's really happy with that. She's being positive though. She's being like really friendly.
I think this scene is sort of more the relationship between Amy and her own mom, and that's how her own mom would react if they went to a spa.
Is this the part that your mother found scandalous, Mary?
Nope, not yet.
Hey, John, do you see who the masseuse is?
No, who was the masseuse?
It's Lauren's assistant, Gary.
Oh, I don't remember Lauren's assistant.
Oh, okay. No.
Yes, leave, Emily. Oh my goodness. So awkward. I can never do this.
Hey, leave my girl Emily Gilmore alone, all right?
Hey, I'm not bashing on her. I'm just saying it's awkward. I would never be in a massage room with my mother. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like I could have with my mom, but she was super cool.
My mom would do the same thing and not shut up the whole time.
Yeah, I'd probably be like Emily and talking the whole time.
Also, how does Rory have this much clothing?
I was just thinking that. She
Like,
wears
no one has this much
5
clothing.
days a week, and then probably pajamas after school.
Where did they find Mr. Peanut pajamas?
I think they're Nick and Nora, but I could be wrong.
Ah, that would explain it. They have a lot of really cutesy stuff.
I really love this Lorelai dress.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't think we see it again, and it's a shame. It's very flattering on her.
All of her dresses I love.
She never liked to wear anything more than once or twice.
I've always wanted a DVF wrap dress because of her, even though I do not have the body for a DVF wrap dress.
I wear
feel
a
like
lot of wrap dresses because of her.
I feel like everybody looks good in a wrap dress.
Well, I bought a legit DVF one on eBay, and it was purported to be a size 6, and my friends who are size 0s say it's too small on them.
Yeah, that's right. Probably because sizing has changed over the years for vanity sizing, so things that are older are actually smaller than what they say they are.
Also, women's sizes in general are just wonky.
Yeah.
I wound up giving it to a 14-year-old at church because she's the only one skinny enough for it. Do you guys remember when they did the whole nail polish line, all the Gilmore Girls colors?
Yes, I really wanted it, but my mom said no.
Well, I was an adult, so I could have bought it, but I figured it was useless because I don't wear nail polish.
Did you hear the vicious straw was line, John?
Certainly did. And that was another reference on the post.
Her excitement makes me happy. This is why I ship Lorelai and Jess, because they both hate Indian food.
It's why you what?
I ship them.
That's awkward.
I don't know how.
Well, not like as a teenager. Gosh, no. But like
I don't get that rep. What did you say? You ship them? Ship?
yeah, like as a couple.
Yeah, they're shipped.
Okay.
Oh.
But like not as a teenager. That's really weird.
Still,
If you watch very carefully in the Jess years, you can see a lot of similarities between Lorelai and Jess and Luke and Rory and how they should be each other's, minus the age gap, because that is weird.
That box says pure ammonia.
My favorite line's coming up. Ugh. Oh, I love when Paris gets all happy. I know. First the dinner party, and now this.
I'm eating mac and cheese for Paris tonight.
Oh.
Always my favorite moment.
John, do you know who these two are? Do you know
Yeah,
who they are?
these are the two from the Dresden, right?
Yeah, Marty and Elaine.
Wait, what?
So there's
It's a
a bar in actually my old neighborhood called the Dresden, and these two, Marty and Elaine, are there every, I want to say once a week on a specific night, or had been. I don't know if they're there anymore. They just a sort of an old Hollywood. They're just old Hollywood legends.
I want to say they were in Swingers too, where that bar was.
Yeah.
Okay, for a person who doesn't drink martinis very often, for those of you who drink, please tell me what a dry martini means.
With dry vermouth.
Oh. Okay.
A dirty martini is when you pour a little bit of olive juice into it.
That I learned because I had no idea about that either.
I love a dirty martini.
That's the only way to drink a martini.
Do you do a twist or an olive?
Olive, always.
My sister says that there's an olive person and a non-olive person in every relationship, and she is the olive person, and she bought a jar of grape leaves and put it in the cabinet, and her husband, who loves grape leaves, did not touch them for like 6 weeks because he thought that they were olives.
That is actually from How I Met Your Mother. I love that joke.
I was just gonna say that. Love that.
Oh, Himian.
That was a good little moment, guys.
I know. I love seeing
Scandal. Scandal.
Ah!
This is the, we got
I love this. Me too, so much. Hey, there's Tabasco.
Paris is not wrong, in my opinion.
It's actually really good.
How does that work? You just put salt and pepper on a plate and just dip it into that, or is there some sort of liquid?
Apparently so. I have just heard about this recently too.
I put salt and pepper on top of my ketchup, and then you have salt and pepper in every bite.
the theory is that when you break the fry, like the soft part is what sucks up the salt and pepper.
Aha.
What do you mean, Miss? These are like 6 hours ago, buddy.
She has terrible boundary issues.
You guys were never teenagers. 6 hours.
I was, but my boyfriend respected boundaries. Oof. If I didn't want something.
Wait a second. Let's not talk about respecting boundaries and talk about the way this whole scene started with Jess coming in. I mean, come on.
Yeah, John, let him know. Let him know.
No, she has bad boundaries with everyone. She can't say no.
See how she didn't answer his question?
Twice. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
she should
blame
have
her.
shoved him out the back door.
That's what I always wondered. Get him out the back door.
There's
Just
like 3
idea-
entrances to
Sure.
this house.
Well, yes,
Yeah,
but
side door.
that one wouldn't have been as amazing as this one. But just watch.
Sure. Yeah, he's
I
being
like Jess, but that's a bit
Jerk.
too far.
Such a jerk. Such a jerk.
Y'all gotta stop dating on Jess.
Paris just stuffing her face.
Mucho mac and cheese.
I think it's funny that he doesn't even register that half the time Paris and Rory are mortal enemies, and it's a shock to find her in her kitchen.
Watch.
See, this is why she was like, Dean's gonna get mad. Because he does it. But she did
And she
lie.
did not lie.
She did lie. She said Paris was there, but she didn't say
Hey,
that.
Paris.
Paris is aces.
Oh yeah.
They're lying so much as if not telling the entire truth. And there's many reasons you don't tell the entire truth.
Exactly.
An omission is lie.
Nuh-uh. I don't even know how to say no, but no, that is not true.
Mission of guilt.
Yeah, Dean. I could
Sweet
slap
Paris.
you. You're so rude.
Also,
Gosh, I
I
just
would have
want
shipped
Smack
Paris
Them.
and Jess.
I could see Paris and Jess.
Okay, right there she was lying.
Not
No,
at
you're
all
not.
justified. Are you kidding?
Dean's not sorry he yelled. Come on.
Valerie, is there no glass in the cabinets because of the reflection?
Yeah, they would probably not put it in. Although I don't think I ever noticed, to tell you the truth. And you know why? Because it wasn't my job.
Makes sense. I just think it's funny that they opened the door to reach in to grab something when there's clearly no glass.
I never ever noticed. It's kind of funny.
Wait for the Malamars in season 3 and you'll see. It's very clear.
You know, it's possible that they just pull the glass out for that shot if it was a reflection problem. Usually they would have the glass in there. Meaning on any other show.
Makes sense. Paris thinks it's a lie.
Use mostly so I can handle my heat and then put like the tiniest amount on her plate.
Those two are hilarious.
I love them.
They're awesome.
Chairman of the board.
Is it true that they have to pay extras more if they have like speaking lines?
They're not extras if they have speaking lines.
I learned that listening to Scott Patterson's podcast today. They are guest stars if they appear multiple times, and then they are
Day players.
day players, or he used another term.
You know who's sitting next to her, right?
The
It's
gentleman.
Barney Miller. Barney Miller, aka Hal Linden.
My mother
God, that
always
is
loved
Barney
Barney
Miller.
Miller. Yes, I have seen Barney Miller.
It was kind of special when he was on set, just because everyone was like, "Ah, it's Barney Miller. It's so cool."
Mary, is the moment that your mother was scandalized coming
This
up?
is the whole scene scandalized my mother. Emily is acting so irresponsibly.
When she said, I don't dance, I just had a vision of Kermit singing that song in the Muppets.
That's amazing.
Oh, this is scandalous.
It is, isn't it?
Sarcasm?
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, for her, I think this is scandalous.
In general, it's just dancing. It's not like they're grinding on each other.
But the setting, and Richard's not there.
And for a woman her age.
And she's in front of her daughter. That was what
Okay.
my mother would say.
Yes, that's weird. But just
I think-
dancing with another guy in general, I don't think.
It's
It'd be
like their
weird.
version. It's like
What?
grinding, but
Or a
they're
lot
old.
She's a vicious trollop.
Oh, no, this is scandalous.
Now that,
Yeah, I was gonna say
Ooh,
this
that's
trollop.
more
was it? This
comfortable.
definitely is.
Oh,
Even with like a guy that I've dated before, I've never danced that close. That's weird.
I feel like that shot was pretty deliberate to show her ring on her hand pretty like center.
This is really creepy.
I don't
Who
think
puts their cheek
Right.
next to someone else's cheek while they're dancing?
a lot of people.
Probably drunk.
People
Probably.
dance cheek to
Or
cheek.
like just
I
say
don't.
her.
There's old Hollywood
so uncomfortable.
pants to pants.
Did they pay?
I don't think they pay a lot of places in this show. It's like going to the bathroom. It just never happens. My husband doesn't dance, and I would feel weird dancing with other dudes.
Yeah, I actually am on Emily's side here completely.
Same, and I wish Lorelai could recognize her feelings even if she doesn't agree.
Totally.
Yeah, but Lorelai has a point.
Yeah, but
Why Lorelai has to like accept that it's okay because Emily doesn't do the same thing if it was the other way around.
Well, no, I'm talking about a line that she's about to say.
Fair enough.
The whole dancing, I get that line though.
And my mother was like, she's absolutely right. Why didn't she remember that before?
She is right. I mean, imagine if Richard was there, how Richard would feel if he saw that.
Well, I think if Richard was there, it would have ended after the first song. If it even started at all. That's so sad.
it is.
Emily has a point.
My mom would faint if she ever heard that line.
I feel like my mom was the best of both. She could be a friend when you needed one, but she wasn't afraid to be the mom either.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
I love this.
Clearly a crime of opportunity. I feel this way about hotel pillows.
I've taken robes and never gotten charged.
I love the camera work in this shot. So flawless. Uh-oh.
I love this face.
There's the rub has many meanings in this episode.
And my hold on. I said that line from an earlier episode, and now it makes sense.
$12.50 for breakfast for two sounds like a great deal. That's
Oh
what
my
I
God, that would
Have you ever been to Waffle House? That's the
Yeah, we had
reality here.
Luke.
for $12.50. You can get one side of breakfast.
Waffle House, you can get 2 meals for under $10. Depends on what you order, but it can be done.
Do you see that little brown door in the green door? That was our little entrance way to get into the set where Luke's apartment was.
Bom, bom, bom.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah, I love that episode. I forgot who to do.
Huh?
Great episode. I'm going to open up the couch, everyone.
Oh, let me say, Marla.
The
what kind
couch
of dog
the couch has gotten magically longer. We now have several cushions available for folks out there on the beanbags or moon pod. What was it, Chris? What did you call it out there? Oh, you're actually out there.
I think she did call it a moon pod.
Yeah, I think that is what she said.
Yeah.
I can't stay too long. So if there's any questions, feel free, and then I'll take off and give you guys a spot for someone else.
Does anybody have any questions for Val?
How many times did you have to brush their clothes off during the opening scene?
Well, as many takes. So whenever they started back to one, like if they cut the scene and they started from the top of the scene, I would brush them off. So it just depends on how many takes we did. And then for every angle, however many takes we did. But if they stopped in the middle and said, let's just pick it up from this line, then we would match it to wherever they were at with dirt level. But usually on that kind of scenes, they would just start from the beginning again.
Wow.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you know how there's like, we don't always see them, but like donuts are like on the counter or whatever. How?
They're probably the same ones.
Okay. But considering that we like have seen them like take them and there is eating, obviously.
Yeah.
How much of the food, because I know John said that like you would take home like, you could take home like leftovers or whatever, but like how percentage wise, how much was the food real?
The food in Luke's, a lot of the food was real. It just depended on whether or not it was something that was going to be eaten or not. So if we were going to eat it in real life, it would definitely be real. It'd be edible, and it would probably be pretty good because the actors had to eat it. If it was something like a donut that was in a case, it would be real, but it might have been a very stale donut. Like, I don't know that they changed those that often. They didn't change the candy in the candy shop hardly ever. That would just stay there all year, all season long until they needed to change it for whatever reason.
I know the nuts in Lorelai's house were stale.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was stale unless it actually was being consumed. For the most part, they never used fake food. Like, they wouldn't use outside Dosey's Market. If there was lettuce there, 9 times out of 10, those items were real. I think in the revival, I want to say they used a lot more fake stuff, but I don't know. I can't remember. I just remember a lot of the stuff being real.
Valerie, do you remember what it was you said you were going to tell us after the show?
I think I was talking about, we were in Chilton, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So basically
that
classroom was one room, and we would use it for whatever purposes we needed. If we needed a smaller room or a bigger room, they would put a wall in there and make it whatever size. It was every classroom and any classroom that appeared at Chilton. And the hallway, the same thing, and the lockers. They would just move things around when they needed it to make look different. And I want to say that was on stage 18, which was where Lorelai's house was. Later, when we moved things around, stage 18 became the Dragonfly Inn. So when Chilton got torn down, it turned into the Dragonfly Inn. When the Independence Inn got torn down, that set, sorry, John, there's spoilers. There's an Independence Inn. There's a Dragonfly Inn. When that got torn down, that moved to stage, I always get confused, 14 and 12. I think stage 12 was Emily and do you remember, John, if stage 12 was the Gilmore house, or was that the Dragonfly Yale? No, I'm sorry, Yale.
spoiler.
I don't know. But wherever it was, there were 3 stages that we had, and they were all sort of close together, and that was what I was trying to tell you. Sorry.
So the stairs in Chilton that they use every so often, were those built on
that
stage?
Was actually at a practical location called it's the park that's in Beverly Hills.
Griffith?
What was that?
Griffith?
Greystone.
Oh,
Greystone
Manor.
And so we would only go there very rarely. In fact, I think I personally only shot there 3 times for Gilmore. One of them was like a regular classroom scene type thing. One of them was for the graduation. And I remember shooting there again when we did the revival. But I can't, there might have been one other time that I was there, but I don't know. We didn't shoot there that often.
Cool. Thanks for the info.
By the way, so to clarify,
somebody asked about when Lorelai was on the other side of the door and whether or not that was ADR'd or not. So I say that it's ADR'd. Valerie, I believe, I mean, Valerie is correct in that there were no ceilings there, so it's all on a set, and so everybody would be getting picked up. Their mics would be, they would have the mic on the other side of that door as well, picking that up. But the thing is that sound folks are real picky about certain types of dialogue that needs to be manipulated. And that particular line from Lorelai had to sound like it was from behind a door, right? And so that means that likely the post-production had to do some degree of manipulation, and they would always rather do manipulation on a line that they captured clean in their studio. So typically what's up?
Definitely a possibility. Colin usually, my husband does sound, and so whenever we're watching something, he will hear if something is ADR or replaced. He'll just call it out, and you're just like, okay, can we just watch the movie?
Oh yeah, I can always hear the ADR. I mean, that's one where you are. I mean, the audio itself had like a behind the door quality to it. And so the question is, did that behind the door quality get put on to dialogue that was captured on set, or dialogue that was captured on in the sound room? And my experience on the show is that they just always had us going in to get random stuff, even if it was like totally fine. And I would ask them sometimes, what was wrong with the line? The audio sounded fine. And they were like, yeah, we like to get it clean on our end because we have to do some stuff to it, and we'd rather do work on something that we captured rather than do it on something that was captured there.
And also, a lot of times the actors will always be wearing body mics as well. So you would have times where the boom person, sometimes you'll have two boom people working, like the utility guy will bump up to get an angle or shot, or they'll hire another boom person, but then the actors are generally always wired when possible. And, so it just depends. But yeah, I don't know for sure, but my husband definitely tell regardless.
Speaking of sound, did you guys ever notice I didn't start watching with you guys on like the first season until later. Did you see the boom drop down? I think it was in like the second or third episode in the kitchen.
It happens a lot.
I've seen the boom drop several times already.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that was the first time I noticed it.
It happened all the time.
One thing you're gonna notice more probably in the earlier scenes than you will the later episodes, the later seasons, is when we first started shooting the show, it was shot for the square format, the regular TV format. I mean, there was information on the sides because the camera would capture it. So when they did the DVDs and all the other extra things, we didn't protect for HD. So I know I've seen a lot of you guys send me photos of people's arms and reflections and random things like where you're catch crew members in there. And chances are that stuff is more likely to be in something that's pre HD TV seasons rather than later, just because of the protection element. Like when you watched it on regular TV back in 2001, you would never have seen it.
I will say that when I was doing the show, I remember there was one day. It was I remember it must have been season 4 or 5, because it was because I remember Sebastian and I were there, but like behind the set, and we were both watching the monitor, and all of the monitor was already taped in all kinds of weird ways, and
HD was not really here yet. So like it was just kind of a little curious. And I remember he asked about why all the tape was there. And somebody, you know, one of the folks like in the camera department said, oh yeah, like we're already preparing for HD. Like even though it wasn't in HD mostly on television, they were already at that point by like season 4 or 5, they were already like shooting and I would imagine protecting at that point.
Yeah, they definitely started protecting before we started airing it that way. And I remember just being like, oh man, we have to worry about that. Like that just sucks. Like thinking it was just going to go away. Like this was just going to be a phase.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite thing is, this won't have any spoilers, I promise. But at one point in the diner in season 4, it's only in the Netflix version, but the camera pans out and Luke is showing Lorelai his socks for some reason, and it dips down so she can see his ankles from her position on the stool, and you can see behind him there's something written on the side of the bar top.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So that's
Send
a
me
fun little nugget to be on the lookout for if you're watching on Netflix.
Send me a screenshot of that.
So Valerie, you were talking about the children uniforms. When you guys dressed the characters, were they like specific to character type, or was it just the actors that preferred certain parts?
A lot of it, first of all, you know, they picked that specific color of blue to go with Rory's eyes. That was like one of the main things that I've gathered from talking to Brenda, and there were different elements to the outfit. So we had the sweater vest, we had the cardigan, we had the blazer, we had the skirt. For just the girls, they could wear tights, they could wear knee highs. The knee highs could either be blue or they could be gray. And the same with the sweaters, could either be blue or gray. So Louise always liked the gray. She loved it. It looked great on her. Madeline always liked the navy. Madeline in particular always liked the sweater vest more than she liked the cardigans, but she would wear either. It just depended. But like, a lot of times the actors would just come up and like, God, I really want to wear this. And so if she wanted to wear that, we couldn't put Madeline in the same. So we would always try to like switch it up so everybody was in something different. And Paris, I don't think I ever remember Paris being in anything other than the blazer, but I could be totally wrong. I'm sure she had something in case we needed to put her in it, but I don't know if you guys
I feel like I
remember
don't remember her being in anything else.
But Rory had a blazer, and so if Rory was going to be in a scene with Paris at school for that whole day, which a lot of times she was, the chances are of her being in the blazer would probably not as great, maybe in later seasons. Like you were saying that you don't remember in season 1 her ever not wearing the blazer. But we sort of just started giving, I guess, more options because colors are important. There was a scene kind of towards the end of this episode where Lauren and Alexis were sitting in the diner and they're both wearing blue. It's when Kirk's standing behind them. And it's interesting because I'm like that's the one thing you want to avoid is when, and on any show, not just Gilmore, is characters wearing the same color. You want to have everybody in different colors. You want to have, like, if someone's wearing blue, I don't care if it's dark blue, you don't put someone else in blue, especially not right next to them. And this season was designed by Robin, and it was really hard because Lauren would never pick out her outfit until 2 seconds before getting on to set. And so you have to dress other people, and sometimes you'd be establishing other people. And we just sort of kind of had to just do, make a guess as to what someone was going to wear. And so you never knew. It was really hard to not have people in the same color.
So Lauren picked out all those shirts with the dogs and cats on it that we see?
Lauren made the final decision to wear them, but I mean, she didn't go shopping. We had someone shop.
I find it interesting how often she has like a dog or a cat or some animal on her shirt. It's fun.
You know what? They wanted her to be in a specific kind of type of cute, trendy. I mean, and at that time, that was super trendy to wear. So, and some of the shirts, like I remember her having some shirt that someone sent her. And she was like, oh my God, can I wear this I'm going to wear this in a scene. Can you get a photo of me wearing it so I can send it to these people that sent it to me? Or there was one time, like, remember that Celtic shirt? She had like a green, like Celtic shirt, I want to say. It was like there was like a 4-leaf clover on it. She was really into 4-leaf clovers.
Everybody loves an Irish girl.
Yeah, it was something like that. And that was, I want to say that might have been a personal shirt that she brought in and she wanted to wear. So she definitely had influence over what she wore on the show, but it was implemented through as many people as possible trying to get clothes, bring it, but she wouldn't make that decision until the very last second. So that was hard.
Well, I always thought that Paris looks like a young businesswoman all the time. So I figured that must have been specific to the character and how they wanted her to look in the show.
Well,
like
what happens
pantsuits and blazers and stuff.
What happens when, and John can attest to this, when you go to your fitting as an actor with the costume designer, it's that initial fitting that really develops what the character is going to be and how that character is going to look. And there's definitely different rules that each character sort of kind of falls in. And you're never going to see Paris wearing cutoff shorts in a crop top. Like, that's just not her character. I mean, we wouldn't even have it in the closet, much less. You have a specific, you build a closet for them, and then they have a little bit of leeway within that closet to lower down on the call sheet, like lower characters. They're going to put the clothes on, they're going to wear it, that's it. But like when you have like Lauren, who's the top of the call sheet, she's going to have a little bit more input on how and what she wants to wear. And so you have to make sacrifices to get everybody to look great. Because you don't, like I said, if every single actor went in there and said, I want to wear blue for that one scene, it's not going to look normal. It's not going to look real. It's going to look weird. And our job is to make things not stand out in a way that distracts from the storyline.
Oh, I was gonna say, when Paris brings all of her clothes over for Rory to help her dress for her date with Tristan, Rory remarks, "Well, you'd be one well-dressed widow." That's always been a favorite line.
What we do as costumers, when we look at the script, we see that line, and we think about, well, what would a widow wear? Well, a widow would wear black, and what would a widow wear? But if she was a teenager, so you have to kind of work with the lines as well, and it's an interesting job, and it's fun. It's definitely a lot of fun, but most of the time, it's all about trying to make things not stand out, and work for what the character is.
They did an excellent job. I at least enjoyed the costuming on the show, the way everybody looked.
Yeah, I have one question. So in season one, where it was the snow episode where Rory got snowed in with her grandparents.
What episode was that?
Love, War, and Snow.
Yeah.
So I think episode 8.
Okay, I hadn't started yet, so it would be after episode 10 that I would be able to maybe give you a little clue, but I might be able to help.
Okay. So she was wearing saddle shoes, and those of us who have worn saddle shoes, know exactly what those feel like. And then I think starting this season, she started wearing, are they called Oxfords or something like that?
She always wore the same shoe. She's always wearing the same shoe.
Well, what about season 1?
Oxfords and saddle shoes are the same thing. They're just, it's a colloquialism.
She had a black and white lace-up. She had a black and white lace-up shoe. It might have, I might have given her a new pair at one point, but they were basically the same shoes.
Okay.
I remember... Yeah, I remember they would get really super dirty, and I would have to pull out the white shoe polish and clean them up and make them look nice from time to time. But that was my job within that parameter of dealing with the clothes.
Okay. Cool.
Any other questions before I take off?
Well, thanks for the insights and things.
Thank
You're
you, Valerie.
welcome.
Yeah, thanks so much. This
Yes,
is so
thank
cool
you.
to have you here.
You're welcome
No
anytime.
problem. Thanks, John, for
You're
making
amazing,
this
Valerie.
happen.
Thank you.
I can't wait till you get to the Sebastian episodes and we see John. Are you going to be okay seeing yourself on screen?
I'm preparing. I'm mentally preparing for it.
I know. That's kind of one of the reasons why a lot of the actors don't watch is they don't necessarily want to see themselves on screen.
I don't like the sound of my own voice when I hear it on recordings. It's okay when I hear it inside my own head and then it's
Amen.
recorded and I'm like, I sound like that.
I don't
Amen.
mind. I don't mind my voice after. I feel like I'm okay with it most of the time. It's interesting. I don't know.
Valerie,
Well,
are you aware that we're ending season 2 this weekend? So he's
You
starting season
just
3
someone
next
just said that, right? So season
Yep.
3. Did you guys do the dance episode yet?
Nope, not yet.
No,
Nope,
that's
season
not
two.
yet. No.
Okay.
No
No
spoilers.
spoilers. No spoilers.
Definitely not with that one.
You come back for that one, though.
Which
Yeah.
one is
Try to come for the special ones if I'm not working. I'm going to be working the next 2 weeks, so I won't be able to pop in like I've been.
So the one you're talking about is 308, I believe.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which one is John's first episode? I'm blanking.
The other one dies. The something, and the other one dies.
Oh, one has class and the other one dies.
Yeah,
That's
correct.
like episode 3.
Season 4.
No, season 3.
No,
episode 3.
that's season 3.
Season
Oh,
Season 3, episode
Oh my
3.
goodness.
Wow, I was in that early.
That's so exciting.
I think so because it's
That's
before.
so soon.
It's after application anxiety and after haunted leg, but before the dance. So I think it's like episode 3.
Get
Oh,
prepared.
wow.
No,
yeah.
wow.
Wow.
Start of senior year.
Terrified.
I prepared all of the screams for the
That's so
rest of the weekend, and I'm really excited to see what John's gonna go through.
What?
I'm going to feel so awkward.
If John's scheduling goes the way he was kind of implying, he's gonna start season 3 a week from this coming Monday. So after
Our hiatus.
so then
Yeah, we're
that
going.
308
We're going
will
on
be
hiatus.
fun.
We're going on hiatus next week, which doesn't mean that we won't be meeting. It just means that we're not going to be watching the show. So we're gonna probably still have we're gonna be watching the unaired pilot one day. And
I
we'll
might start a room.
and we're gonna probably and anybody who starts room, they don't have to be watches. They'll be, we'll just, like yesterday I started a room sort of impromptu.
Saw that.
It's just going to be a just fan club room, right, Tasha?
I'm sure
I will
there'll be
join.
a just room.
Tasha, I will join.
And Tasha, if you start a just room, that's your room. You call the rule. You call the shots.
No hating on
Yes, it's Jess. Yes, it's Jess.
So we're gonna start that next week. It's just gonna be a week of just hanging out and gabbing, and then the following Monday we'll start on season 3, and I guess that means on
So 308 might be
on Wednesday. I'm gonna be on that Wednesday. I'm gonna be seeing myself for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, John, if I start a just room, I'm sorry, but you're not invited.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, I don't want to do spoilers.
Wow, harsh, Tasha.
Hey, spoilers. That's why. I know.
You could
That's
you could say that when you schedule your room, just please schedule it on the Remarkist app so that everyone in the community knows that it's happening. And if you do want to have a room where people are free to talk spoilers, just type that in the title. Type spoilers in the title, and then I'll know that's a spoiler room, and I'll avoid it. Or I'll pop in and I'll be like, "Yay, everybody! No spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers." Just wanted to say that.
We'll do.
You can drop in to hate on him and then dip out before spoilers. Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Although I would end up being I would be on the beanbag. You'd have to invite me up there, or I'd raise my hand, and you could be like, "Should we invite John up onto the couch?"
It's gonna be a
And then we just
hate-free
pop
zone
up
of
on you and
Jeff.
let you sit down there.
I'm gonna pop out, guys. Thank you so
It was
much.
so
Bye, Val.
lovely.
Someone else
Bye.
can pop on the couch.
night, Valerie.
Okay.
Thanks,
Talk to you
Val.
later.
Good night,
Bye.
Valerie.
Okay, speaking of Jeff.
Oh wait, Tasha, I got.
Oh, no.
When I
Wait,
was
what?
with me, when I was
Wait,
with
can
you
I
guys
just
during
say something?
Yeah.
I actually observed something really interesting during the episode.
the- everybody talking at once.
Well, the biggest cacophony of talking happened in the bar, and it was really interesting because the bar itself was this like a loud, like boisterous environment, and just naturally everybody in our group was like talking as though we were in a bar, like we were talking about. And then as soon as they went into the room,
Oh, wow.
everyone went dead silent, and we're just like sitting there quietly while Lorelai and Emily were having their scene. It was the craziest thing, but it was really cool. I have to be
Gnarly.
honest.
I also noticed that a little bit when Paris and Jess and Rory were talking while they were eating. Everybody was getting a little chatty, and then when Dean showed up, it made us kind of laugh over here. Jason and I were kind of giggling when everybody just like, "Wow, there's coming!"
Yeah, it was like it's like that. The room reflects the energy of the characters or the environment on screen. It's really cool. It's really interesting.
Like
For
when
any
someone's
folks
getting
that are-
yelled at.
For any folks who are on the beanbags or here up on the couch and that bugs you at all, like if you're like I can't concentrate, I want to watch the episode, just turn your volume down. Like it's really easy. Like there have been a couple times where I was really like needing to focus and it was just a little much, and all I did, I just turned the volume down, and then I turned it right back up as soon as I finished hearing what I wanted to hear. But like I don't want to discourage that, because I just think that it's
no,
good,
it was
natural.
It was pretty hilarious when everybody said it's not justified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn,
Oh
are
my
we gonna
gosh,
get into an
yeah.
argument?
Absolutely.
It was great.
Wait,
It
so
was
who was speaking to me before John wanted to speak?
Oh, I was gonna say before you started that it was really kind of entertaining to hear you all react very similarly when Rory and Dean were fighting in that scene, and you guys all were just like, it's not justified, and no.
Oh, yeah. He was being really awful to her.
Exactly.
I'll disagree, but I'll get to that later.
I'll be right there at your side, Mary. I mean,
Mary.
I feel like season 1, Dean was a lot more polite.
Yep.
No,
he
he certainly didn't have somebody
Really?
egging him on. He certainly didn't have somebody like instigating him at every turn.
Yeah, he didn't have.
I agree.
He's mad at Jess, but he doesn't have the right to scream at Rory. He can be
Exactly.
upset at her and be like, "Hey, that was really uncool. Didn't like that. Have a civil conversation." But you don't get to invite yourself into her house after she said, "Don't come over."
Exactly, Lily.
Scream at her
Exactly.
in her house.
But
Yeah,
Jess
true.
invited himself over also.
Well, yes,
Yeah,
Jess
but
didn't
Rory
come
didn't know
screaming.
Jeff
Like,
invited
it's
himself
different.
over at first. My only biggest problem with Dean in that was that Rory told him that she wanted, and she didn't expect Paris to show up. She didn't expect Jeff to show up, but Dean was going to just come over anyway, even though she had told him she'd see him the next day. And that's what's the only thing that really bothered me about that.
Oh yeah.
She also told Paris she'd not to come over, and Paris showed up.
Yeah. But
I
it's
think-
just
and
like,
Dean
But
told
Paris
her he
and
was
Rory don't have a
dropping
social
something off.
contract like a boyfriend and
Dean
girlfriend.
told her he was dropping the ice cream off and leaving. Like that was his plan. He's just gonna drop the ice cream
Liar.
off, see her, and leave. He wasn't planning to come over and stay.
He
Whereas
would have
both
weaseled himself in
both
for
Paris
sure.
and Jess purposely invited themselves over with the intention of staying.
Here's my thing on that, because this is why I begin to really, really, really strongly dislike Dean. Is this episode, because like when they're on the phone together while he's walking over to her, when Rory says Paris is here, the way he said, it's not what he said, it's the way he said it. He was like, why? Like, well, why is Paris here? I thought you were going to have your alone time, blah, blah, blah. Like, she can't even have Paris over there without him, like, acting.
That's not
Like
what
he's
he's.
asking.
That's not why he's upset. He's
Well,
upset
I know
because
that.
he's upset because she painted a completely different picture to him earlier that day, and he arrived there And it's like, I mean, just put yourself into his shoes for a second. He was told, I want to be alone. I want to eat my Indian food, all that stuff. And then he sees Jess there. I mean, like, you know, and Jess doesn't just like walk away slowly. I mean, he really instigates there. And then he sees Paris there. So, I mean, I don't think he's mad that she has Paris there. I think he's mad that she told him something, and everything she told him from his perspective was just a bold-faced lie.
Well, yeah, I understand that.
She's
It's
pushing
just like,
him out. She has her hands on Jess, pushing him out, and so paint that visual. I mean, look at that visual too, where that would be upsetting. Because one, she just said Paris was there. She didn't say Jess was there. And two, she's pushing him out, which looks very bad on her end.
I understand that. I understand all sides of all of this. My whole thing is that Dean can't just like plans change all the time. Like, I've had nights where I'm like, I'm just gonna be a hermit and stay in my house, and I've told like a guy friend of mine, like, yeah, I just want to have like an alone night, blah, 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 kind of the same thing. And then my girlfriends will invite me out, and then it just happens. Like, no one ever expects anything to happen until it does. And so, I mean, Jess is a little different because he wormed his way in there, but she didn't expect Rory. She didn't expect Paris to be over. She didn't she invited her to stay for dinner, but that's dinner. But she really did expect to have a lone night.
She invited her for dinner because she wanted a buffer so that she wasn't alone with
Oh,
Jess.
yeah. Definitely.
And I think that was smart of her to do, but at the same time, because Jess really shouldn't have forced her to, or tricked her into letting him stay either. But it's just, to me, the whole thing is like, Rory told her boyfriend, I just want a night on my own, and he just decided he was going to pop in anyway. And
didn't listen to her.
But he was popping in with the intention of leaving. Like, it's one of those things of, we both win. I bring you something sweet, I get to see your face, and you still get your alone night.
But he can't follow what she was saying, though. That's
Mary, I don't like Dean. So to me, it looks more like he's checking up on her to see if she's really doing what she said she was going to do.
Agreed.
That's how I'm seeing it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But partly that's because I don't like Dean. Sorry, John. I still don't like Dean. I haven't liked Dean for
That's fair, but I don't see it like that. I'm more on Mary's side, where I feel like he really wants to see her, and so he just took that moment to get a quick chance to see her on a night when he knows she wants to be alone, but he sort of, I don't think that Dean had a distrust issue with her that night. But I will say that, like, she made it very clear to Dean, very clear, that she does not want to hang out with him that night, right? And so now, like I just imagine you're Dean, like you've been told, like, I'm not hanging out with you. I want my alone night, my alone time, right? But things can happen with other people that they can then have that they can then be a part of your night, right? Like, I guess I'm wondering, like, why couldn't Rory be as strong with Jess as she was with Dean, right? Why couldn't she say to Jess, absolutely not, I don't want you here, pushing him out, closing the door, right? Like,
because she wants him there. That's
right, because she wants him there. And so then because of that, it's sort of the whole argument of, like, why does Dean have to be so pushy? Why does he have to, why can't he just trust her? Like, she wanted her alone night. Really what it boils down to is he's feeling like, wow, when it was other people, it's no problem it's no problem spending time with other people. But when it's me, you need your alone night. You need your alone time, right? Like, that would just really hurt. I would imagine that he would be like absolutely and totally hurt. And I don't excuse his behavior or yelling, but it all came from a place of absolutely a place of hurt. And the reason why it's hard for me to be even remotely anywhere in the realm of on Jess's side is that he did all of that. Like, he created that whole situation, and and he seemed to relish in it. He seemed to like kind of enjoy that he was creating that kind of chaos.
Yeah, Amanda's been flashing back.
Yep. Go for it.
Okay, so first of all, I'm not on a team. Like, even when the next person will be introduced, I don't like Rory's taste in guys. But I do think that you're forgetting that Dean is a teenager, and teenagers aren't always the smartest. I also think that Jess, the way he pushes himself in between Rory and Dean, and also the way that Rory doesn't really hide her feelings very well for Jess, I think that leads to Dean's anger, because Dean definitely knows that Rory feels something for Jess the same way he knows that Jess is trying to get in the way between them.
Yeah, totally.
Tasha.
Cool. Okay, so
It's on the cusp of clapping, Tasha. Like, honestly, like I'm sometimes wondering if you're clapping for.
if I'm okay, here's my thing. If I'm slowly flashing my mic, I'm chill. If I'm starting to speed up, I'm starting to lose my train of thought. If I'm going slap happy, that either means yes or Tasha's losing her train of thought. She needs to speak. So,
Really quick, Tasha, just can I go after you?
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, what was it? Oh yeah. So kind of going off of what Amanda was saying. So yes, teenagers can be ruthless. I mean, we all were one at one point, some further along than others, but not my point. But I mean, I can remember like being like a teenager. I mean, I only had one boyfriend in high school, but being like, well, you said you were doing this, but then this happened. So I understand it to a point, but at the same time, I think like even if Dean was just gonna pop over and just drop off ice cream, which I don't believe in any way, even if he was just gonna drop off ice cream, he still didn't respect the fact that she wanted an entire night to herself and stuff like that. Like, take out Paris coming over and take out Jess coming over. I mean, you eliminate almost the entire episode, but you take those equations out, and Rory did in fact just was by herself, and Dean like came over, he wasn't listening to what she wanted. And I think that's like very apparent starting this episode throughout the rest of the season, that like he doesn't hear her when she's like saying something or showing her actions. And I've said this before with like feelings and things like that. If someone is showing signs that they're either over it or they want their space, then you should just like take that space. And it's going to come up, I think, in the next couple episodes, what I'm saying. And I think like, yes, Jess is weaseling his way into Rory's world, and as much as he wants to, yes. But I feel like, I don't know, it's hard because like I'm not defending entirely Jess's actions because it drives me crazy sometimes, but he's doing it in the way that he sees fit, and he's being himself. And going back to Lost and Found, if Jess will go by like what is right and doing it in the way that will be like respectful, it's taking his entire character and changing it, which I don't think someone should change a character just so they can get a girl. And I don't know, Dean was just like such an a-hole, and there's a totally different way that he could have went about it. Although I do love when Paris saved the day. Does that make sense at all?
Was it Lily that was going to go?
Lily?
Yeah, let's go ahead, Lil.
Lily?
Yeah, sorry, 1 second. Oh, hey, by the way, while Lily's thinking for a second, Diana, I just want you to, at one point, you have to tell people about your Dylan McKay versus Jess theory.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, dear
Yes,
God.
do it, yes.
Dylan McKay from
So good.
Beverly Hills
90210.
90210.
Yes, from Beverly Hills 90210.
S02E16.
Oh,
What a king. Oh,
Oh yeah,
Hey
Please.
guys, sorry about
But we
that.
gotta let Lily go here.
go ahead.
So basically, I'm going back to like something I said on like previous episodes, I don't know. But I think, obviously one of the reasons Jess, does what he does to Dean is because he gets, fun out of seeing this guy he doesn't really like get upset. But also, I think he knows that, Dean goes off on her, and I think he wants her to see that. Because obviously Jess wants Rory, so I think that he wants Rory to see Dean at his, I guess you could call, worst, so that Rory will be less interested in wanting to be with him.
I agree with you there, Lily.
Interesting.
Because, I mean,
Really, definitely.
it's just,
I don't see Jess being smart enough to think that.
really, I do, but
I do.
Oh, he is so
He
smart.
absolutely is, honestly, but
Emotionally mature enough to, or smart enough to see that emotion.
But I think he's manipulative enough to do it.
Oh,
I think
hate
he's
that word.
walk to her house and yell at her. Sasha, I guess, continue to yell at her. So not only is he being abusive, he's now being abusive and embarrassing her in front of her friend in her
And
house,
that's
which he wasn't invited to. And then
But
he
Jess-
gets mad at her after she tells him actually what happened, and he's still getting on her. It's like, please.
But does Jess feel to anybody here like somebody who does not understand the word no?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
that's all I could think about when he was pushing his way into
Yeah.
the house.
But
Like,
did she say no though?
yeah, but I mean, it's sort of. I mean,
Yes.
she did. She may not have used the word.
You could
no,
tell that
but
she wanted to.
Yeah, but
In
she-
a roundabout way, she
she
said it.
yeah, I mean, like no means no, right? Like, I mean, he understands her body language. He knows what she's doing. And he's pushing past her, and it just feels really. I mean, that
Aggressive.
character, like, he's striking me as somebody who violates people's emotional space and their physical space, and it really sits with me the wrong way. I like. That's not to excuse like Dean's behavior. There's no question about it. Yelling, all of that stuff. His behavior has certainly contributed, I would say, to Rory's constant nervousness about Dean. But everything that I see from Dean seems to be coming from a place of like real hurt. Like, this guy is insecure, he's scared he's losing his girlfriend, and he's reeling, whereas everything I'm seeing from Jess just seems like, why you got to do that, man? like,
Yeah,
Well,
and
you have
Jess
to go-
doesn't even, he plays games at the end when she says thanks for the food or the care package. And Luke is like,
Yeah.
what care package? So he's all manipulative and can't even admit that he did something nice for her, just like the toaster.
You really got to stop hating on Jess.
Wait,
We're reacting to what
I'm
No, I
making
get that.
hold on one second. So I'm making everybody a moderator. I'm sorry, I'm gonna actually have to jump now. I was hoping that we could chat a little bit about Emily and Lorelai, because I really wanted to talk about the scandal, and just Lorelai pushing her mother into something that I just don't think was appropriate for Lorelai to be doing.
Maybe tomorrow, pre-show or after, you can,
Yeah.
After the 2 episodes tomorrow morning.
or just before, or if he's on a little earlier. But yeah, we should revisit
Well,
that.
do we know if any episodes coming up are Lorelai and Emily episodes?
There is one that's
Kind
sort
of.
of. Yeah.
Lens. Is that coming
But
up?
I think that would probably be Sunday morning, and you need to run on Sunday. Yes,
I need to run
Lorelai's
tomorrow.
graduation
No, tomorrow I have.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow I have.
you have to run? It's not
Yeah,
Sunday?
tomorrow I have like at 10:15. I cannot be on the app. I have.
Like, we have to physically kick him out.
Yeah, I have to be like walking out into the garage like at that time, because
Like
otherwise I'll
Kobe.
be late. Otherwise,
To call it a night, but I hope y'all have a lovely evening.
bye, Hillary.
Bye, Hillary. Bye. Bye. I have to go too, guys.
So
Sometime we
for
Bye,
something.
Lily. Bye. Bye, Lil.
We will talk about it soon because I have opinions. I have opinions
Yeah.
on all of that.
And we
Yay!
want to hear them. So do
I'm
we.
sure you know my feelings on it.
Oh, yeah.
Just pop in early tomorrow.
For sure. Okay, everyone. I will see. Yeah. Maybe that's what I'll do. I will pop in tomorrow 15 minutes early rather than the typical 10.
Oh, dear God.
And any folks who are here and who can. Oh wait, tomorrow morning though. No. I'm gonna pop into tomorrow's 7 p.m. a little bit early.
I was like, I can barely get up.
Yeah. No.
45.
No. I'm not gonna push my morning any earlier than and probably and tomorrow morning I actually have to get ready and everything. So because I'll need to be ready to leave after at 10:15. So I'm waking up real early tomorrow, actually. So before the 7 p.m. Before the 7 p.m. tomorrow, I'll open the 7 p.m. like 15-20 minutes early. So any folks who want to join that one, and we can chat a little bit about Emily and Lorelai. Oh my gosh, Lorelai, have respect for your father. My goodness.
Hey, John. I'm trying to get Gabby up here, and I keep
Yeah.
hitting the mic, but it's not working. So I'm not sure if it's me
I did
or
the
if it's
same
just a
thing.
room.
I just did the same thing. I don't know why.
Maybe
Sorry.
if he leaves and comes back, it'll work.
Oh, you know what? Actually, it says here, sorry, Gabby can't join right now. Maybe try again later.
Huh.
That's weird. Wait, hold on a
That's
second.
awkward.
Let me see if it does it again. Okay, there we go. Now Gabby's a speaker.
Thank you. Okay, cool.
Hi, Gabby.
Hi, sorry, I'm driving, so I was listening as I drive.
No problem.
Okay.
No
You were
problem.
trying to get you up here.
I was
alright.
wondering what that sound was. Thanks.
All right, everybody. I'm out. Talk soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you again for joining
Bye.
me.
Bye.
All right.